Okay, in this lesson I'm gonna be teaching you how a for loop works. Okay, so in the program week 3 of for loops, there's 11 buttons, basically random buttons that you have to just do. So for example, random 5 whole numbers between 1 and 6, and random 15 whole 3-digit numbers, etc. And you must just then display all the random numbers in the reach edit display. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you the first example. Okay, so the first button here is random 5 whole numbers between 1 and 6. Okay, so the old conventional way you could have done it is going to show it the long way. So you would have added a variable, let's just say a random of data type integer, because it's whole numbers. If it's real, then obviously you would have had a double. So then I would go and say, okay, so my rand1 is equal, okay, let's maybe just randomize here, and then before that let's just also clear our rich edit display. So rich edit display dot lines dot clear. Okay, then randomize, and then we can begin by saying, okay, so rand1 is random. Okay, and then highest is 6 minus our lowest is 1, just plus 1, and the outside we just want to say plus our lowest, which is 1. Okay, and then simply we just want to do red display dot lines dot add, and we just want to display rand1, so we're just gonna easily do a into string, and we display rand1. Okay, if you run it, you can just confirm it's working. So you see it keeps on displaying. Every time I click, it's clearing the reach edit and then displaying a random whole number between 1 and 6. Okay, so but what we want to do is we want to display 5 consecutive underneath each other. Okay, so the old way which you would have done is just go take these lines and rewrite them 5 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if you play the program, you can see there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. Okay, so it works. So all is good. It generates 5 whole numbers between 1 and 6. Now I'm gonna show you an easier way you could have done it. So if this is the long way, I'm gonna be teaching you a for loop. Okay, so a for loop. Okay, so a for loop is basically an unconditional loop. Okay, so once this loop is written in code, what it means, unconditional loop, is the user does not have a say in when to stop. So if the program is coded to loop the set of instructions for 10 times, it's going to be looping the set of instructions for 10 times. Okay, that is basically what an unconditional loop is. Okay, and a loop obviously means it's going to just do a set of instructions, loop up to the top, and do it again for the set amount of times. Okay, later on we'll get to conditional loops, but for now we're just going to stick to the for loop. Okay, so how you write the for loop is you will just say for space, and it's going to automatically create this line of code for you. Okay, so the for I part is basically a variable, so you can have any variable in there of type integer. So but for now let's leave it I. We're gonna be working mostly with I. Then we say is equal, so the first one where the 0 is, that's where our loop is gonna begin. So let's say 1, and then 2 we want to say to like the max. So in this case I'm gonna be doing 5 because we want to generate 5 whole numbers. Okay, you will see your I is underlined, but as soon as you just press enter, you will see I is automatically created here as an integer. Okay, if it's not automatically created and it keeps showing a red line, just place in here a capital I is of data type integer. Okay, then what we want to do is in here we just want to take this one line, 2 lines actually, and we want to paste it in here. So what this thing is gonna do, it's gonna loop through this section 1 to 5, and then it's gonna display whatever's in here. Okay, so better explanation is in the beginning it's gonna say, so for I gets given the value of 1, so I gets given the value of 1, then it's gonna do the code, then I is gonna be just incremented or +1, so then I is gonna be 2, then it's gonna run the code, then I will become 3, then it's gonna run the code, I will become 4, it's gonna run the code, and finally we have to 5, so this is the max, it's gonna go, I is gonna become 5, and then it's gonna run the code for the last time. Okay, so yeah, if we set it as 10, that means this program is gonna run 10 times. Okay, so but for now let's leave it at a 5. Okay, I think that's a good enough explanation. So basically 1 to 5 for loop, then we've got our random, so that is still exactly the same, we're still generating a number between 1 and 6, and then we are simply displaying that number, so we can test it. If we click it, you see there still are 5 numbers every time we click it between 1 and 6 using the for loop. Okay, so just once again we say for I is gonna begin at 1, it's gonna keep on looping or for 5 times, and then we just have inside the begin and end the codes we want to be looped or repeated. Okay, so at the beginning I is gonna get the value of 1, it's gonna do the code, I will get the value of 2, it's gonna run the code, 4, 5, and then it will stop. Okay, so that is basically all for the for loop.